RSG Malaysia to kind of like try out new players as well. So that's why we see some new names like Bornzi, like Venogo in the lineup. So it's definitely a different pace and a different feel as compared to like during the MPL days. I do wonder if this will really work out for them, because right now they are in the middle pack with 1 win and 1 loss.
True enough, and we're already into the picks and bans as we see Guinevere as well as Arlott, two heavily contested heroes to be locked out immediately by Team HAQ. I guess they've been watching all the other teams play throughout the course of this tournament, and they believe that, hey, this are some of the things that we have to look out for. Meanwhile, on the other side, RGMY, they will be banning out some of all these marksmen as well as the staple support of this meta, Angela. So I think nothing too fancy when it comes down to what is required for them to have a smooth run. But first pick, definitely vital for Team HAQ.
Yeah, first pick. Now, one thing about Team HAQ is that they have some level of repeated heroes. So like Terizla is kind of popular for them. Kadida is popular. Kufra is kind of popular as well. But if on the other side, RSG, they're rather versatile. So out of the 4 games that they have played, there's only 2 heroes that they have made a repeat. That is the Claude and 1-1. And looking at the bans, well, the 1-1 is being banned out. So we might see something new. Or maybe the only repeat potentially could be only a Claude, and everything else might be a repeat. Or for the first time, we'll see a second time pick for RSG in this tournament. And if we were to look at like the bans so far, one of the hot bans that is open, Matilda, is open. I would expect that to be picked up.
Yeah, Matilda definitely would be able to actually offer them a lot more of that engaged opportunity when it comes down to all these team fights that they'll be participating in. So now looking into so many of all these options out there, we see a little bit more hover onto potential support, and Alice is definitely an interesting selection. If they actually go for it, it could basically go, mid if they want to. Some people like to put it over onto the XP lane in order to really hold things down. So it could easily be just a very flexible pick that does not really tell too much about Team HAQ's current plans at the moment.
Yeah, if the Alice were to be picked up, it's going to be the first time we see an Alice in this tournament. So, nope.
Mm-mm.
It's not going to happen. It's going to be the Joy that's been picked up. We have seen a couple of Joys before, even today. However, for Team HAQ, in this tournament, they have yet to play the Joy. So this is going to be a jungle Joy, and it's going to be very different from the type of junglers that they have played before. Mostly, they played the Martyrs, they've even played the Fedrin, which is a little bit more tanky, a little bit more engaging. But for the Joy, is focus on mobility and try to go for the back line. Now, the counter to a Joy running around, it could be a Diggy, and I do see RSG hovering around.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that they are hovering over on Digi, is like telling them like, okay, I'm gonna force you into a composition that is very uncomfortable, and even more uncomfortably, putting in the Valentina as the first pick, saying that, okay, any huge ultimates that you are planning to pick from here onwards, you gotta think what this Valentina can actually do to that composition as well. So with the Matilda being selected, this is already giving us a strong sign of what RSG can potentially do towards the rest of Team HAQ. But they don't really care. They say like, I still got a lot of big picks that's being opened up in my deep pockets, and Leisha is now looking to secure a Terizla for the team. And it's also pretty interesting to see Leisha now facing off against his ex-teamates in a sense, because Leisha used to be one of the poster boys for RGMY.
Yeah, and there was a lot of like question on, okay, when is Leisha going to play? When is Leisha going to play? Because he has been absent in the entire MPL season, despite him like being on the substitution lineup, but he has not played a single game in the recent MPL. So now seeing him back here, I'm sure the fans will be excited to see like what sort of a gameplay can he put up here on a different team, obviously. So yeah, but anyway, for Leisha, he helped to pick up the Terizla. So Terizla is going to be played by Iris as a XP leader. It is a popular pick today, although we didn't see the best of a Terizla, but we do know the potential of the penalty zone, able to catch out as many heroes as possible on the other side to open up the fight. However, I'm worried about how are they going to deal with the Matilda now. It feels like there's still no real answer to Matilda unless they don't think Matilda is a problem.
Yeah, and I guess the only pseudo answer to that right now is the pick that they've selected, which is Kufra. I'm glad that they actually picked the Kufra really early before we go into the second phase, because you see there's a lot of movements coming in from the side of RGMY, and one good bouncing ball can just easily get them stuck over onto a very tight corner with the Titan's Rage. I think like that itself poses a little bit more of a threat to RSG MY's advancements. But now moving into the second phase, like you can see a heavy lockdown over onto mid lane selection for the side of Team Hawk, because they've yet to secure their own mage. So no Novaria, no Kadita. There's not going to be all too much of a safe option for them to play out. Do they default back to something like a Lilia, or do they actually go for, they did hover onto Alice, which is somewhat of a safe pick, but in such a bursty composition coming out of RSGMY, it may not be able to hold out for the rest of the team if they want to.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, we talk about like high damage, right? The Martyr is definitely high damage. Potentially even the Valentina, depending on what else will Valentina steal away. Of course, there's good options here. You got a bouncing ball, which is pretty decent. You got the penalty zone, which is great to steal away.
Mm-hmm.
So the Valentina definitely will play a versatile role, I must say, in how the gameplay of RSG will be. And do they want to be more engaging, or do they just want to uh, dish out more burst damage? So these are the few options that the Valentina can provide. Now, coming into the final ban for Team HAQ, the Claude can still potentially be picked up. It's not banned, neither is being picked up by RSG, and they do have a record of using it before this. So I guess if they want a safe ban, it could be the Claude.
Yeah, it's interesting that they even go as deep as to ban out the Gord, because they also do realize that, hey, the Team Hawk composition can actually fit a heavy 5v5 team fight playstyle, where if they were funneled into a certain area, that Gord can easily just melt down everybody with his ultimate. So quick call, and now locking down another XP laner. You see a majority of it consisting of tanks, but you still have picks like, well, Esmeralda still open up. So that could be something that they can secure for RSGMY right now, as Lolel's going to be finding something to pick for the team.
Uranus banned out. Interesting. Okay. I guess they just don't want to deal with the lane cutting. They want to focus on team fights. That's probably what's going to be happening on their mind. Or and Leslie being picked up. Okay, again, we did talk about like RSG being very versatile in their picks. There are some new picks here. Again, just to summarize, Matilda, first time for them, and yeah, that's going to be the first time. I mean, that's going to be the only one. But for Claude, yes, since it wasn't banned out, and this is one of their comfort picks so far this tournament, so immediately picking it up, not needing to think that much.
Yeah, I really do like what I'm seeing out of the entire squad of RSGMY, where most of them just can go in and out of battle in very fast tempo. So it's very hard for some of all these players of Team Hawk to actually focus down onto either targets. So Lilia is going to be the call over the mid lane for them to actually play a little bit safely. And what they really have to do is get this Brody to get his items up really quickly. If they can actually get him to power farm, that's great. If they can get him more picks, even better. So for the side of RGMY, I guess like a lot of them will be looking for a dive against this Brody. So that's something that uh, is going to be Team Hawk's issue on how well can they actually protect the carry. Now that you even add a Khalid on board, oh my word, like we forgot to talk about this Khalid pick. Like, it has been so good. Even we've seen it a bunch of times in the MPL as well, in across regions of Southeast Asia. So RSG, they just want to hit the pedal to the metal and just go hard, get the snowball, and from there onwards, like they could close out the game quickly. They will do so.
Yeah, Repo used to have a good time using the Khalid in MPL MY, but this time it's not going to be Repo, it's going to be Bonzi. Let's see if we can live up to the level of expectation that his teammates have with him using that. And I'm sure he is able to do so. Now, fun fact about Bonzi in this tournament, so far he has used in every game a different hero. It was a Paquito, Alot, Lapu-Lapu, Terizla before this, and now it is the Khalid. It's nice to see like this sort of players having a wide hero pool that they can deploy and change the play style or however the direction of the game that they want to play with. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's head on to game number 1. This is, of course, Team HAQ versus RSG Malaysia.
It's a battle of who is the strongest of Group B right now. Stormski already looking for advancements. Could this be a huge steal coming in for Stormski? This is going to be a tough call to make. I'm not too sure if that's going to be much that this Matilda could do to take this one away. Is that going to be the case? Ray Scottfield still got it in the back, so no issues whatsoever for Team HAQ. It's a little confusing to see, like, you know, some RSG tags on the side of Team HAQ because of all these roster changes, but we'll get used to that.
Yeah, we gotta get used to it as well as the players getting used to the fights as well. Stormski is just being annoying because he knows that he can get away easily, hence for Team HAQ, they're not giving him too much attention. But not only Stormski, look at the movement from, let's see. Okay, yeah. Noah was circling around Stormski just to try to shoot him away, but he's not backing down. And 4 players on top, that would grant RSG Malaysia the first blood.
Yeah, swiftly done by Vinogo. And I just absolutely love how aggressively RGMY is playing things out. The moment that wave hits over on a turret, they saw that opportunity was already being chipped down as well. So just the first blood. Other than that, I guess like there's still plenty of space for Team HAQ to be getting their way for a swift catch-up for the time being. A little bit of a scuffle going on over on the mid side as they do get the knock-up over on the Stormski. I don't think there's going to be much of a commitment. Martis is going to be getting the turtle startled up as Norgwen has drawn his attention over on the other corner. It's going to be pretty hard to actually initiate a full-on fight right now, but they're about ready as most of them are hitting their elements online. Iris in the middle of 2 members of RGMY gets taken down. Now, this is going to be a 4 versus 3. Not looking so hot, but Vinogo does not really have too much health bars to work with. Now, Hornsey is going to be looking for a go. Trying to look for a flank, and they are going to
go in?
Go for the steal, but instead, Izanami secures it for RGMY.
Wow, who needs a retribution? But we got a penalty zone onto 3. But Bonzi goes into the back line, gets his own kill, and RSGMY holding this on strongly. Not only that, they counter back on the team out nice and beautiful in the mid lane.
I just love the movements coming in from both sides. They understand what is required. Team HAQ did pile in enough pressure to eventually challenge RSG in that high stakes game of stealing the turtle. But RGMY, I think it was just some pure positioning that led them to secure the turtle overall. Meanwhile, a little bit of a attempt on an invade as they are going to be looking for a target. Vinogo now displays this position, but still finds a way out. What a smooth exit coming out there for Vinogo.
I mean, Vinogo is anti-CC, so it's not going to be that easy to try to catch him off guard. And with the help of Stormski just being annoying, that's going to be hard. But Noah misses onto Izanami, so he's okay. But even if he managed to catch Izanami, I'm not sure about the damage output. Would it be enough to take him down?
not at this stage of time where they're still needing to get their items up. Triadi, though, he's gonna be the one that has a lot of potential to eventually chip down their health bars, but of course, as a marksman, you just really have to take your sweet time to get those items online. Hepta C is now available for that Brody to hit a little bit harder. Iris now walks into a trap. That's not where he needs to be. Can he survive is the question.
Oh,
and here it
that's
comes.
it? Oh!
Phil, he's gonna look for it. Iris survives with a tick of health left. And there we have it. A little bit of a standstill from both ends. And I don't even understand how did he get away scot-free.
Yeah, I know, right? Like Iris, man, he was counting his lucky stars earlier on, but that also opened up a little bit of opportunity for RSG to start off the total. But because Iris, well, is back on the fray, so it's not going to be as easy as just taking out the total just like that. However, Iris does not have the penalty zone. He used that earlier on during the mid lane fight, and even the black shoes as well is being used. So now Team HAQ a little bit low on utility, but for RCMY focusing onto the bottom lane, Bonzi is now in trouble, but backup is here. Bonzi will be taken out by Nua, but the trade-off should happen anytime soon. Benogo not letting them go with the decimation.
Whoa.
Securing that kill. Izanami gets one for himself as well, and I think this should be enough for RSG.
Huge resets going in favor of RSG NY. They saw the opportunity to just collapse onto the bottom side, and they did so swiftly against Iris. And it's not too much that you can do it with the Terizla when you already have the flicker being utilized, and now they just have to give this turtle away. They're not really in the right spot, and there goes Stormski, Circling Eagle, trying to disposition all of these members of Team HAQ, and just like that, they secured themselves a turtle for free.
Oh yeah, so it's going to be a turtle in the back there. But right now, you can see a fight in the middle.
That's right.
And it's going to be an entrance here. Oh, great! Gets away. He has the mobility, not a problem.
Was looking for an opportunity to land that decimate as well. It's just a little bit shy of his damage in order for him to proc the execution. Now, Team HAQ, as much as they are kills behind RSG MY, gold lead is still pretty much in a way reachable for them to even up. War almost landing the knockup, but that will be a swift exit coming in from RSG.
Wow, gotta give a lot of respect to their mechanical skills. I mean, Lolius got away in the nick of time. That was really, really fast of him to be able to execute that. But anyway, so he's survived, he's okay, and as a goal later, you want to survive as long as possible because you want to stack up the goal as well as experience in order to be able to dish out a lot of damage, especially with the blazing duet that will be very important later on.
Yeah, and right now, it's also very important for Team HAQ to find as much resources as possible. Benogo tries to deny the orange buff as that battle will not really result too much, but the catch goes through. Malaysia does not have the black shoes to pull away.
Raging Sandstorm did help, and that is how they secured that kill. Now at the top, they will be alright, but something happened at the bottom. I believe it was Nolas getting a kill?
Yeah, that was a solo kill all by himself. I didn't really expect that to go through, and he's getting that free push as well. Somebody has to deal with this while RSGMY is also challenging them to go for the Lord as well. Now, what can Team HAQ do? They need to split up. They need to decide whether it's worth to go in for this Lord.
Well, looks like it's definitely not going to be worth it. Look at the zoning here by Stone as well as Bonzi. They're onto Bonzi right now. A couple of skills expanded onto him, but it might not be worth it now. Lolius comes in with the placing duet onto the backline, and we can see Iris is tanking the damage. Lucky enough for him, the damage from Lolius is not enough just yet. But now the purple buff, I believe it was stolen away.
It's just so difficult to deal with this composition by RGMY. Everybody has hyper mobility. Not a single one of them comes without a dash. So Team HAQ, they just need to rely on getting that one catch from this this form of support that they do have. Norguen, as much as if he does catch his one, the rest will also collapse upon the rest of Team HAQ. So I see this to be a huge problem until Terizla can actually land a solid ultimate onto majority of the targets, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, with Lolia stealing away the orange buff, now they were the opportunity to push as well at the bottom lane. The lot has arrived, but it's still going to be the first lot. It should not be that impactful unless RSG goes in just like now.
Bornzy looking for the hub, but he will be taken down. Here comes the blazing duet. He's not going to be able to find all too much. The ward is still online, but that's too much damage being done upon the structures of Team HAQ. They lose that inhibitor. They lose MALAYSIA in the process as well. And now a challenge up mid. 4 versus 5. This is not going to be all too easy for RGMY, but they are pretty much up ahead, and they are definitely willing to see if they can challenge.
Yeah, although there was like I would say it looked like an overextension by Bonzi, but he kind of sacrificed himself so that his teammates can take down the turret. Now purple buff secured. Yes, Lawless will happily take it again. Another buff denied away from Team HAQ. And now with the map control that RSGMY has, not sure how is Team HAQ going to come back for this. They have to buy time. They have to farm in order for them to catch up to RSG.
Yeah, and they're coming in from all directions as well. This ain't going to be easy. Meanwhile, here comes another fight breaking through as RSG having Izanami to just shred them out. A lot of all these waves have been cleared up. Team HAQ, as much as they do have a lot of all these minions cleared up, they lose that Turizla. Nobody frontlining the engagement. And here comes Bonzi. He's going to be looking for a ward. And there you have it. One more pickoff, and slowly and steadily, RSGMY is looking to secure every single inhibitor possible.
Well, they might want to hold on to that because the Lord is about to be up. So now with the Lord up, they're going to refocus onto getting it. This is Team HAQ's opportunity to maybe try to challenge it. Let's see. They pretty much do have everything they need to try and challenge at this moment. But same goes for RSG as well. By this time, soon, Bonzi will be back up. And Team HAQ, we will see a Lord dance.
Yeah. And at this rate, it's almost impossible to actually efficiently catch, but no-go. Currently sitting at 503. He's got all the damage required. He's level 14 at the moment. So this retribution is definitely going to be a lot stronger. Meanwhile, Team HAQ waiting for that golden opportunity to strike. Can they do it? There's a huge wave crashing over the bottom side as well as the top lane as well. Team HAQ. Time does not really favor them. A quick reset coming in from the side of RSGMY. A little bit of attention being pulled away as that Brody is going to be looking to find a way to clear off these lanes. Team HAQ still keeping their eyes over on the Lord. And here comes RSG.
Oh, here we go onto the back line. Venogo starts it off onto Iris. Iris is now in trouble. He's kind of low. And Iris will be taken out of the Land of Dawn. Not only that, Venogo comes in with a double kill. One more to go. Make that a triple kill. And that is enough for RSG to secure the lot. But looks like they're going for the chase instead. The flicker being used out by Triadi. Triadi being chased on. And Triadi dashes to safety, but not safe enough as Fonzie will be there to take him out.
Last man standing for Team HAQ, and it doesn't even matter anymore. RSGMY with the huge statement for Game 1, taking the lead.
RSGMY controlling the map, doing very well to not allow their opponent to even come out at all. I mean, this is just map control 101, stealing away the buffs, whether it's the purple buff or majority of it the orange buff. This is just map control from RSG. And you did point out something interesting during the game is that RSG, all of them have some form of mobility, and that became a nuisance to Team HAQ.
Yeah, it's almost impossible for them to actually focus fire onto anybody in any form of an instance. You have that Kufra, but that Kufra can only do so much. Even if you do get that knock up, like, are you certain that you could basically pull off the full combo in order to secure that kill in a split second? And RGMY understands this, and it's just a little bit more push and pull. You can see almost in every fight, they're just walking away after a couple of hits, even if their health bars are low. It's just overwhelming damage rotations coming from each respective members of RSG.
And the chase ability that RSG has, it's just difficult for Team Heart to get away. Especially after you expand the flicker, like to some of the heroes, like you don't have a way to continue on the escape from Team RSG. So this is one of the fights that was important. And look at this, going in, there was a penalty zone that was stolen away by Izanami, and it caught like 2 from the side of Team HAQ, and that is where RSG, they have the option of whether they want to go for engagements because of the Valentina, or whether they want to go for burst damage. And looks like the engagement was what they went for, since they don't really have like a big CC type of hero. So stealing away the penalty zone was a good move from Izanami.
Yeah, even despite you having a Brody on board for the side of Team Hot, like when you have Torn Memory Apart, you're hoping that all your enemies are stacking up as well around the area in order to deal maximum amount of damage. But when they can easily dash in and out, there's barely enough room for you to actually channel through an efficient way to burst down anybody on this Brody. So I can see the struggle. Triadi has did his level best in order to survive throughout the course of the game, but you can see there wasn't really much impact coming in from both the Turisla as well as Leisha's Lilia, because every single time that they are looking for an engagement, they just get pushed back all the way, and Leisha this time just get heavily punished everywhere he goes.
Yeah, as much as the potential burst damage from Malaysia with the Lilia, unfortunately not able to secure a single kill. So yeah, it was a tough game for him. But I will also say it was a tough game for Triadi as well, because from the start, like RSG knew that okay, we gotta take down the goal later, because that is the second highest potential damage, at least early on, besides the Lilia. But maybe because they kind of know that, okay, Lixia was not having a good time, they refocused on the Triadi. So with Lixia out, Triadi out, the rest of them is not able to deal out that amount of damage.
That's right, and I would say that Stormsky have really showed a great display of confidence in execution, where Stormsky leads the charge for the rest of RSGMY in order to find those opening picks as well. And then you can see both Bornzy as well as Banogo working in tandem to secure very different targets. So it makes things really, really confusing for the likes of Team Hot in order to focus anybody down, and any front line that comes through does not even have any form of a threat against the rest of RSGMY.
Yeah, so it was I would say, a very controlled game from RSG. They were very disciplined as well. Maybe only once that we saw the Khalid kind of overextended, but that was also with the intention of them taking down the turret at the bottom lane. So that's absolutely fine. But other than that, I would say this is very controlled, very disciplined gameplay from RSG, despite them having a very strong lead from the start. So they are taking this round very, very seriously. But Contra, the fight's not over yet. There's still at least one more round, or maybe make that 2 if we can see Team Hawk come back later.
That's right, and